Good morning, good people. How are you doing? And where are you? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it night? Wherever you are, just, ich grüße dich. That's how you say it in German. I greet you. Now, I'm just sitting here or standing here or whatever I'm doing, and I'm thinking to myself, what is better? Getting your children early before you start your career, or getting children later after you've settled in your career? I ask this question because I happen to have done both. I got my first child before I settled in career-wise and all that stuff. Then I got my second child after I've settled in my career. I don't know who has passed through this. My children are 16 years apart. I think I broke the record. For me and my brother, we are 7 years. And now my children are 16 years apart. And I don't know, I've been trying to think which one is better. There's an advantage of getting a child when you're young, when you've not really settled in life. Because you kind of grow together. It helps, you're blending with one another, And there's also that disadvantage of you have no idea of what you're doing. You're just there, because those of us that are moms, those of us that are parents, we know that there's no really a formula to be a parent. So you're juggling. It's trial and error. Oh, you go this way, it doesn't work, and you come back. You try another strategy, then it works, and you feel like this is the one. And after some time, you realize, okay, that was for a season. It's not working. That's why, in fact, we should really appreciate our firstborns. These firstborns need a medal, because our firstborns are our trial and errors, Because when you get a second child and a third child, it's not the same, but at least you have an idea. At least you're not trying to give the child paracetamol to see if it will function or not, because already you tried with your firstborn and you know what happened. So at least, when you start getting second child, third child, you cannot compare children. They're not the same at all, because I have two different children. But at least as a mother, there are things that they're no-go areas already. You already know no-go areas. So anyway, back to the story. Now I'm thinking to myself, I got my first child and I juggled. We went to school together. He went to kindergarten. I started my Ausbildung, please excuse me. I started I went to college after my first child was 3 years. So it's like we used to wake up in the morning, everybody carry their bag and move. So we grew together, we grew together. By the time he was finishing kindergarten is when I was starting work. So, we are growing together, and it was nice. It was, that part of it, I loved it. I loved it. It was tough. I'm not saying it was easy. Oh, it was really tough. But, that growing together, and your child is seeing you growing. He's seeing you start school. He's seeing you doing exams. He's seeing you reading, Then we enjoy life together till my boy is 16. And by the time he's 16, you can imagine we've all grown intellectually, psychologically, we've all grown. Career-wise, I've finished my training long time ago, and I've made up my mind to go back to school again and go a bit higher in my career and all that. 16 years later comes this wonderful baby girl. You have a life already. The advantage is you're already a mom. The advantage is, like I said at the beginning, it's not everything you're starting from the beginning. There are things you know as a mom. At least you know how to change diapers already. You know, with the firstborn, you're learning how to change diapers. Maybe you changed somebody else's diapers, but it was not your child. So with your child, you're starting there. But your second child, already you know how to change diapers. Though it's a girl, it's not a boy, it's because it's also another thing. But at least you have an idea. But now this child has come when you're already integrated in your life. You have a place in the society, you have a place in your career, you have a place, you're already doing things, you're already somebody somewhere. You know, when you're firstborn, because I got my firstborn with 26, and I just come to a new country, so I was not settled, I was not rooted anywhere. So, but this second one comes, you're already rooted. You already have responsibilities. Now, I think for me, that is the toughest part. How do you start slowing down? Because when you have a child, you have to slow down. You can't just wake up and, oh, there's this meeting here, there's this meeting there, there's this thing, you know, they're calling you at work, you can't just jump and just go. It's like emergency brakes. Yes, you know this thing is coming after 9 months, but it's like, mine even started before the 9 months. I had to do emergency brakes. Those who know what are emergency brakes. Now, the baby girl has come. But not everybody understands that you need to slow down. People are still expecting you have to function as you were functioning before. You know, they're still calling you, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? One side you want to still function because you're so to eat already. You don't want to stop. And most of these things are things you do that you love doing. So you don't want to stop. But another side, being who I am, I like taking care of my kids myself. That's me. We are all different. But I like seeing every blink my child is making. That's me. I like being there for my kids. And now, people are not getting it. You even you yourself, you're not even getting it. You want to be there and there at the same time. Oh, how do you juggle this? You're already rooted in a career. That time I was studying. I'm about to finish my university. I'm just at the last step. Then you're pregnant. Not that it was not expected, but it was expected and unexpected at the same time. A story for another day. Then all of a sudden things have to change. The German system is very different from other places. In the German system, when you're working in the health sector or you're working with people, depending on the company, when you get pregnant, you cannot continue working. You have to stop working because of the risk of, getting transmitted diseases and all that. So the insurance is not ready to pay for such. So what do? You're told you have to stop working. So I had to stop working. In German, we say von heute auf morgen. Yesterday you were at work, fully working. Tomorrow you're not working. You're just at home, not planned. Because my plan was, I was thinking where I was working, I could work longer. That was my plan. I would work until maybe, up to a certain month or trimester, and then I'll stop. But this one is the moment my employer got to know I'm pregnant. Immediately, I'm told tomorrow you're not coming to work. For security reasons, for his own security, for my own security, for everybody's security. Not that he did it in the negative or whatever, but it was, that is just how it is. Oh, believe me, Can you imagine? You've planned for the week. And then tomorrow you're being told, from tomorrow, please don't come to work. And you're like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I knew at some point this is coming, but not at that point. Oh, that was one shock I got. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so used to, I used to work at night. At night, I go to work. In the morning, I go to uni. You know, my life was full. Though that time, okay, it was COVID time, so we were not really going to uni as much. And I was already almost through, so I didn't even have lectures, by the way. So I was just doing my things at home. But I had a full day. I knew I'm going to work in the evening. I come in the morning after my son has gone to school. You know, I had a routine. You know, life we've juggled and we've gotten a routine. All of a sudden, you're not going to work. The going to work is not the problem. But not knowing to do what with yourself, not knowing what to do with yourself, is that was the issue. Okay, with time, we continue. My pregnancy was another thing. It slowed me down. It really slowed me down. Because a story for another day. But now I'm here. I have to start thinking new. I have to start new orientation. German and English mixing. I have to see what to do. How do I do this one? But now, the interesting thing is that my pregnancy got me busy. I was just busy with my pregnancy. If I'm not sleeping the whole day, then I'm vomiting the whole evening. If it is not that, it was just something else. A story for another day. Okay, fine. We continue. We get used to it, staying at home. Now the bad thing is, or the interesting thing is, it slowed even my uni. Even my university studies were slowed down. And this is to encourage also somebody who's maybe going through it. Let me tell you, it took me, what would have taken me 3 months, took me 4 years. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something I was supposed to finish 2020. I finished 2024. So if you're there, by the way, and you've been slowed down by pregnancy or a child, for me it was a pregnancy, not even the child. It was a pregnancy because the story of the child also came with its own story for another day. Please, don't worry. Don't stress yourself. I think for me, even what made me slow down even more is that because of the slowing down, I stressed myself. That stress that slowed me down even more. So, don't worry. Just relax. Relax your mind. You've gotten pregnant. Relax your mind. So my baby comes. And I'm so excited because it's a baby we've waited for a long time. And she comes and she's everything we expected and even more. And all that's where my issue comes in. Remember, I'm not a young mom. The people, even when I was in hospital, I remember the people that I was with in the same ward, they're small children. Sorry, they're young. Okay, because compared to me, they are small children. They're 20 years younger than me. So I can see their children. I'm over 40. So now that is where now things start happening. That is when I realize the difference between getting a child when you're young and when you're a bit older. Because even when you go to the playground, the people that are there with their kids, they're 20 years younger than you. So the conversations, you don't fit in. What do I mean you don't fit in? Where they are in life is not where you are in life. So the conversations that they're talking about, where they are, is what you were talking about when you had your first child 20 years ago. Okay, not 20 years ago, but over 15 years ago. So you don't fit in. You try to think of joining, here there are group of moms of the same age. But I'm thinking to myself, if at the playground I found that was the age. So I don't. So you can imagine what I went through. You're at home with a baby, and people of your age have 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds. You grew up together in Korea, remember? So some of you were the same stage at some point, but since now you've gotten a child, now you have to slow down a little. So, but then they're still there. I have one friend who was asking me, what is wrong with you? How can you go and get a child at your age? Well, it's me that knows why I had that child at that age. And now that is now the challenge that I'm having till today. People with people with kids of that same age are not in my age group. People of my age group have children that are going to university right now. They are climbing the ladder in career. For me, that's not a really an issue, because where I am, I love where I am right now. But now that's the challenge. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. How is it for you? For me, I see advantages, because the advantage of getting a child when you're a bit older is that you're conscious of what you do. You're conscious of how you go about. There are some things, if I'd known when I was younger, when I was bringing up my son, I would have done differently. And you become conscious when you get a child at that age. You're conscious of the things you do. You're conscious of the decisions you make. You realize that life is not even what you think. You don't need to be running in the sense of, career, work, blah, blah, blah. Because I realize these children grow and leave you. They will grow, have their life, and then you realize, where was I rushing? So that's the advantage of getting a child when you're a bit older. You bring up that child consciously. There are moments you don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss out any moment with my daughter, because I know by the time she's 6, 7, we will never recover where she is right now. You create a friendship with a child more than being the mom, because you realize it's not just about being a parent, it's also being a friend. You listen more. I think I didn't listen to my son a lot. We were both busy. So I will not take my... Right now, when my daughter speaks, I stop what I'm doing, I listen. I will not be cooking and listening. I stop cooking and listen to the child. Because I realize you miss out on some things that are important. And she's conscious, she notices you're not listening. So there's so many advantages when you get a child, or rather, you become more conscious when you're older. What are your own? Those who've gotten kids a bit older, in your 40s, because for me, 30s is still young. I think 30s is still young when you get a child at 30. But when you get to 40 and you get a child, you're grounded in career already. In your 30s, you're getting grounded. But in your 40s, you're already grounded. You have a direction of where you're going. You will know what you want. Because in the 30s is when you start knowing what you want and you start working towards it. So that by the time you're getting to 40, you're in it. And in your 30s, if you've not gone far in your career, you can still adjust. But in your 40s, oh wow, it's tough to adjust. And I'm not just talking about career. I'm talking about even in where you are in marriage, where you are in the society. Like for me, I'm a church person. So that I have responsibilities in church. And I think that was my toughest point. That was my toughest place. Because we have meetings and all that stuff. And it took me long to start saying, no, I can't. Because I was there. What time, when, with who? I'm there. In fact, I was there. But now with my small baby, there are times I cannot be there. And it was tough at the beginning. It was tough to say I can't, to tell myself I can't. The people I'm with will understand. If you tell them no, obviously there's nothing they can do. But telling myself I can't, I think that was the toughest of them. Because thank God for where I am in Germany, I could put my career on hold, though that was also tough to put my career on hold. I have to rely on the government, a story for another day. At least it was possible a little. But this one of church and the responsibilities I have already in the society, how do I tell myself I can't? That was my question. So tell me, how have you been able to juggle? Those of us that have gotten kids a bit older, even those that are young, tell us. And not only women, not only mothers, even fathers. Because for my case, we are both 100% involved in our child. Not both. In fact, even my son. We are all, the three of us, we are all 100% involved. So I know there are also fathers who have to put things on hold for their kids. How is it for you? Let's start this conversation. And by the way, the YouTube channel is Irene T. Mugo. That's a YouTube channel, Irene T. Mugo. Let's start the conversation there.